Hey YouTube, it's Lisa, and today I am going to talk about when fertility becomes your identity and all that goes with that. But before I talk about that, I just wanted to briefly tell you guys, I know I have seemed like I had multiple personalities on the front of what to do with my channel, like now that I have a couple other things going on in my life, whether to have the whole channel be TTC or to go ahead and add in the RVing and the homeschooling. And originally I was thinking I was going to combine them because I thought I'm such a dork. There's no way that I can actually manage that many channels. However, I have found that in my own personal YouTube viewing, I actually hate it when people combine stuff. Like when I join a channel, like everyone knows I've done, my husband and I did Dave Ramsey a long time ago. Well, there's a channel in here where the people they did the Dave Ramsey program and they vlogged it, and it was really awesome. And I really loved watching it. I really kind of wish we would have thought of that because it was kind of neat to see their journey. And but after they got out of debt, it kind of became more of a, they'd have debt stuff on there, but then it became kind of more like stuff about their kids and stuff like that. And I just wasn't interested anymore. And it was kind of annoying to always have the things popping up. And when I originally had joined for one thing, so it's going to take me a couple weeks because I am not technologically savvy, and I seem to be having a problem with all of my videos linking together. And I don't want that because I want my family to be able to view the homeschooling one and the homeschooling one. What's the other word? And the RVing one, especially the RVing one, because we've met with a lot of negativity about that, and I would like for them to kind of be able to view our journey. And I don't want them connected because I think most of you know that I've been trying to hide a little bit of my TTC journey. So it's going to take me a couple weeks and a couple phone calls to figure out why I can't seem to separate them. And so if anybody knows, feel free to leave a comment below because I'd really love to know. But anyway, let me get to the subject at hand while my kids are still watching a show. And I wasn't planning on actually making a video today, but then they asked me if they could watch Postcards from Buster, and it's about 25 minutes long. And I said yes because we've had a really full morning, and they felt like they worked really hard, and so they actually could use a little downtime. So I have 25 minutes, and I wasn't really, I have had this video in my head, but I wasn't necessarily planning on making it. But I did write a little list, so it's not in any particular order. But I have noticed lately that fertility had become my identity. It was affecting everything I did. It was affecting what I ate. It was affecting what I drank. It was affecting what I did. And let me just give you an example. Well, when I had my first miscarriage, that was kind of where it all started. The doctor told me to kind of be on modified bed rest. Things weren't going well, and the doctor knew it. I kind of in my heart, I knew things were not going well. Like I didn't think bed rest was going to save it. At the same time, I wasn't going to go run 5 miles and then blame myself later. So I stopped exercising. And at the time, I was a really big exerciser. I was like in really great shape, and it was a big joy in my life was to get up and exercise. Well, so I sacrificed that. Well, then I got pregnant right after that, and I had another miscarriage. But once again, I was on the bed rest, and then it was kind of a little bit of it turned out to kind of be a little bit of a domino effect because by the time I was, it had been a couple months by the time I was in my second miscarriage. Well, then, like, I didn't want to go back to the gym. I was feeling frumpy and I was feeling fat. And I thought, you know what, I'll just start walking the dog every morning, and I'll just, I'll walk with some intensity. But then I ended up meeting someone that also walks her dogs in the morning, and so we were walking, so I wasn't getting in that speed walking, and it was just one thing after another. Well, I quickly was starting to feel frumpy. Well, I became frumpy. I started just hanging out in my sweatpants. And I was hanging out in my sweatpants, and but then I was worried about dieting. I didn't want to eat anything. I didn't want to eat too many low calories because what if I was pregnant? And I didn't want to eat too high calories because what if I was pregnant? And I wanted to eat like whole grain foods, and so I wouldn't even allow myself to have something special because what if I was pregnant? And everything affected. And so it affected the way I was eating. It affected the way I was exercising. Hold on, I have a little page from across the room. Sweetie, I'll get you some in just a few minutes, okay? That's my little guy who wants more milk. So anyway, and talk about being technologically not savvy. I really absolutely am not, like, I'm not a fan of splicing the videos together. I have done it. It's not super hard or anything. It's just annoying for me. So yeah, so that's why my son is I'm gonna make my son wait 10 minutes for milk. Anyway, so it was starting to affect everything. And when I say, like, I was afraid to have a cup of coffee because a cup of coffee, the caffeine, oh my gosh, I can't have a cup of coffee. I can't do this, I can't do that. And so it was really affecting my standard of living. And I mean, I'm not talking like moderation, like I was just like cold turkey. And that's fine. I mean, it was fine. It was fine initially, but then it kind of bled over into the rest of my life. So, so now I've gained some weight. I'm not exercising anymore, which was a great, super fun thing in my life that I really enjoyed, and I felt it kind of gave some structure to my day, and I really enjoyed it. I used to do scripture study in the morning. Well, I started to be a little bit angry and resentful. I kind of be like, well, you know what? Like, if this isn't like doing anything, and like, and so I kind of let that slide a little bit, and then. I would go traveling with my family. Well, not traveling. I make it sound like we're world travelers or something. Well, we would go to like an amusement park, and my kids would be like, "Mom, you would ride the roller coaster with me." Now, I am not a huge roller coaster rider. Having 4 kids has definitely changed my equilibrium because I used to be a roller coaster rider. Now I'm a little bit like, yeah, maybe 1 or 2. But my kids would ask me to ride something with them, and I was like, "Oh no, I don't really feel like it." But it was because, what if I'm pregnant? What if I might be pregnant right now? So I could be pregnant, so like I can't do that. So, and then we would be out and like, someone would be cleaning, and I would be worried that I was breathing in the fumes because I might be pregnant, or it might be affecting my egg quality, or like, everything was becoming an obsession. I'm just looking real quick to see. The other thing that really happened, it probably didn't happen with me even to the extreme that it does happen because I have an amazingly patient husband. But I kind of started picking fights with my husband. Like, I was like remembering everything that he ever said that made me think that maybe, just maybe, he didn't want another baby. And then I was like, oh, well, all your dreams are coming true or whatever. Okay, my husband wants another baby. And it's kind of funny because at one point I had said to him, I'm of advanced maternal age. Like, what if we do have an unhealthy baby? And my husband just looked at me and he's like, well, then that'll be a lucky baby. And I was like, wow, that makes me feel really good. And he's always been that way. We've always talked about having lots of kids. We did think we were going to adopt at some point, but we were foster parents, and that very possibly changed our minds. I don't know, maybe not. So we'll see. But anyway, I started picking fights with my husband, just kind of like assuming that he was blaming me, and he wasn't, and it wasn't even close. He'd say like, hi, how was your day? And I'd be like, oh yeah, my day was fine. You probably think I drank coffee or something, right? But I didn't, like kind of like super, super sensitive. So with this realization lately, I have really chilled out, and our lives are so much better. Oh, and let me also go back to the fact that sex was becoming a chore. It was becoming like, my husband would be like, how are you doing? I'd be like, well, I'm not ovulating. So, so we can't have sex. And then it would be like 2 days before, and I would be like, and I would be okay with it. I would want to, but I would be like, no, because you're only supposed to every other day, and then the buildup might not be there, and then we might not have the quality or the quantity that we need, so we should just wait. So everything was becoming a chore, and my quality of life was slowly kind of trickling downhill. And I didn't really realize it until my phone. Oh, sorry about that. And so I didn't really realize it until it had to do with this whole fashion thing. I actually decided to start dressing nice again. Well, I started dressing nice again, and when I say nice again, okay, before I started dressing nice, I used to dress cute but had no fashion sense, and then I kind of came up with this whole fashion sense plan. But I started dressing nice, and I started like picking out some clothes, and it kind of made me realize how downhill my body had gone. But it also made me realize how hanging out in sweatpants wasn't going to help that. It wasn't going to help my depression. It wasn't, not that I was fully depressed, but it wasn't going to help the little funk I was in, the little obsessiveness thing that was going on. So I decided to just, so it kind of started with that. I got dressed. Well, then I said, you know what? I'm going to return to the gym. Well, I kept having anxiety. I'd want to get up because I go to the gym at 5 a.m. because I have kids. It's the only time I can really guarantee. So I was like, I'm going to go to the gym. But then I started feeling embarrassed and shy because I hadn't been there for several months, and I thought, what if I see the normal 5 a.m. crowd and they're like, oh, you know, she's looking fat. So then I didn't want to go. I was like worried that they would be judging me, and of course they have no idea what I've been going through with miscarriages or whatever, so they would just think I was just sitting around throwing back bonbons. So then I couldn't go to that. I didn't want to go to that. So I know it was kind of the wussy way out, but I ended up joining another gym. I started going to Orange Theory Fitness, and so far so good. I really like it a lot. It's kind of on the pricey side, but it's worth it. I feel really good. I'm feeling really good. I'm feeling really great. And I started just living my life normal, just normal. So my husband and I, so I had a cup of coffee, and not an obsessive cup of coffee, not a ton of coffee, but I had a cup of coffee and I put a little stevia in it, and I'm okay. And before I was like, there have been some studies that have shown that stevia may or may not cause miscarriage, but I would say the majority, I mean, people get pregnant drinking stevia all the time, and they get pregnant drinking stevia through their pregnancy, and in fact, that was what one of my doctors actually recommended one time, but I wasn't comfortable with it, so I didn't. But there have also been some studies saying that it causes miscarriage, but I thought one packet of stevia is not going to kill me. So I have changed my life, and I've stopped obsessing, and I feel better. And I think I said in my last video, well, I did, because I did a whole video on drinking wine, and we have been drinking wine, so I did take ovulation predictors, and I do want to do a video on that because I took a different one than I normally take, and it was pretty awesome. And I just wanted to do a video about why it was awesome. So I'll cover that another time. But my husband and I had wine, and the thing is, okay, wine for me is no big deal. It's kind of funny. If I ever drink a diet soda again, it would be, I'm like an alcoholic or a gambling addict or a smoker when it comes to Diet Coke. I can never have just one Diet Coke. So I could never do that again. I could never drink Diet Coke and not drink the whole bottle. So I can't ever have one of those, even though I'm trying to restore my quality of life. But my husband and I had wine, and let me tell you, it restored a little bit of that dating feeling. Like, you know, we didn't do really anything special. We went up, we had not watched we really don't watch a lot of television, but, so we took the computer up. Our only TV is like in the basement, and I don't like to be down there away from the kids, you know, and so we just took the computer and we took it up and we put the dome on. Who knew? That is like, this kind of like sucks you in. So we put the dome on, and we just sat there and we just drank wine, and then we'd pause it and we just like talk and everything. And let me tell you, the talking that comes with wine is totally like foreplay, because you're just interested in each other and you're just talking and sharing, and it was just amazing. And it has, I mean, and then, you know, like, yeah, even though I was ovulating, I wasn't focused on ovulating, and we had a great time, and it's just really improved that. And now that my ovulation is over, that relationship with my husband is continuing in a positive way. So I hope, without rambling, I have shared with you guys a little bit about how it can become an obsession, how it did become an obsession, and how it really changed my life and the quality of my life in a downward spiral. And I'm really making a conscious effort to improve that. So I know this won't apply to everybody. I mean, some people like get super skinny when they're under stress, and they exercise too much, and some people, their weight's not even affected. Some people like me, like, you just look at a box of donuts and you gain 20 pounds, and you know, and some people are not affected. I mean, some people aren't thinking about if they're on the roller coaster or they're not on the roller coaster, or the smell or whatever. But if anything applies to you, I mean, I'm just thinking moderation is key here. And one of the biggest things, I read two things. I read a Danish study, and it actually applied to people who had fertility treatment, and how their divorce rate was higher, people with fertility treatment. And that really worried me, because I thought, I want to maintain the wonderful relationship that I have with the wonderful husband that I have. And I also, where was I going with this? Oh, and I also just like the quality of life for my kids. I just wanted to not be obsessed, and I just wanted to live for them, and to be happy. And let me just look at my list real quick and see see if there's anything I missed, which probably did miss something, but I'll cover that at another time. The whole like Buster thing on the side of the phone ring, it has me a little thrown off my game. But anyway, the bottom line is try not to obsess. And oh, that was what I was going to tell you. Like, I was going to tell you, and then this is the last thing, and then I'll go. But what I was going to tell you was one of the biggest factors in infertility, if you like just Google it, like, is stress. And a lot of things will say, like, relax, just relax. And then, of course, that's easier said than done. But I was, like, going the opposite of that. And I've even chilled out as far as just, I am taking the baby aspirin and the prenatal vitamins. And that is it. And I'm eating pretty healthy. But you know what? If I want to have a cup of coffee, I'm having a cup of coffee. And if I want to have some stevia, I'm having some stevia. And if I want to be on a diet, if I want to, like, you know, I know diet's like a bad word these days because you want a lifestyle change. But if I want to lose the 20 pounds that I've gained, then I'm going to do it. And I mean, I've been waiting a year and I've just been hanging out, and it's just been making me feel worse and worse. So anyway, YouTube, I'll stop rambling. I love you guys. I hope this helps someone. And so if you get kind of hit with some RV videos or some YouTube or some RV videos or some homeschooling videos in the next couple weeks, just know that that is actually going to change, and I will be posting my new channels as soon as I figure out why I can't get them to not be connected. So anyway, love you guys and good luck, and I hope there are lots of pregnant women out there right now. Bye.